Overwatch 2 producer Tracy Kennedy called out Bobby Kotick on Twitter for being a major reason the game has been, and when I say the game, I mean Overwatch 2, has been so long in the making, Mr. Black. In the tweets, she asks Bobby to tell everyone about the random Overwatch 1 projects that he's been forcing teams to work on instead of their Overwatch 2 workflow, which has resulted in, as she stated in these tweets, a shitload of overtime for everyone working on these because they're doing double duty of Overwatch 2 plus producing this content that Kotick has planted in front of them for Overwatch 1. Many of these projects, even worse, were canceled, meaning that all that work was done for absolutely no benefit while also pushing the development of Overwatch 2 back by what she estimates to be many months. Also, on top of that, what it resulted in was what she stated to be entire teams of people leaving, stating Kotick as the reason for why they were leaving the development.
Why is this news? Like, why? Like, I'm dead serious about this. You know what? I'm tired of fucking hashing out.
What?
Because it's one of these days, man. One of these days for me. You know what I'm fucking tired of hearing? I'm tired of hearing these same fucking stories once a month from a bunch of people that are putting blame on certain. Who gives a shit? Nobody gives a shit about Overwatch 2. Like, who gives a fuck? It's been delayed several months. Who cares? Like, if the game ever comes out, who gives a fuck? Seriously. Like, I mean, goddamn. Is this news? Is this newsworthy? Some girl going on Twitter trying to out Bobby Kotick.
Well, she's a producer for Overwatch 2. It's not like a random employee.
Who gives a fuck? Like, who cares? Is this news? Is this newsworthy?
Well, I think for her, at least, and the team.
Holy shit,
I think for her and the team, the reason why you'd see something like that, and I don't disagree that not a lot of people are pining for Overwatch 2. I don't disagree with you there. I think why she would be doing it is that ultimately what tends to happen and what we've seen clearly in multiple cases.
I've never heard of this girl's name before, bro. So if people are pointing at, it's these people, it's not me, it's my.
No, I don't think she's pointing specifically to her, but they obviously the development team is going to feel like people are blaming the developers for not producing.
Who? I'm not hearing anything like ever about Overwatch 2.
Well, I mean, I don't think your social media silo includes Overwatch 2.
I don't think there is social media about Overwatch 2. I really don't think that there's a story. If this is such a big story, if I were to go to these tweets, they probably got 400 likes. Nobody cares. And nobody cares about her opinion about outing her bosses about reason why games are delayed. Like, what the fuck? That's I don't know. Maybe,
I think it's indicative of like a broader thing on social media right now.
We've been talking about this for fucking ever, over and over and over again. We get it. The game developers, they're overworked. They get too much overtime, not enough manpower. We get it. Like, what else is there to discuss? Do we go on a pivot here and just shit more on Bobby Kotick or whoever's running these? Like, where do these discussions go? Do we get our pitchforks out and go on message forums and get angry at whoever? It's like, I mean, I don't. I just don't see the point. It's just to rile people up. That's what this is. It's to piss people off and point blame on somebody. There's nothing positive about this, and nothing good will come out of it. Nobody is like, seriously. I don't think people care outside of the ones that are working there. If you don't like it, 90% of the game industry is this way.
Well, I think that's why, and I think that's why you're seeing so much of it recently, is because all it takes is like the dam to break, right? So everyone. Well, I shouldn't say everyone, but the people working within the industry clearly aware of what's going on. But when you're kind of in your own world for a while, and then one of the biggest publishers and developers on the planet starts getting sued a million and one ways over the last couple of years. And we also saw it from Riot in the years previous, probably starting from around 2018, 2019. The problem is, or not the problem, but what happens is it's the dam breaking, right? So you got a couple that trickle out, and then everyone all at once. And like, so is it news? Well, I think it's news insofar as that we're getting all of it out now, even though like
Bro, this ain't gonna stop, man.
tangentially.
This shit is gonna be the same thing next month. 6 months from now, it's gonna be the same thing. It's gonna be the same thing. It's like me going on Twitter and then posting out something about Twitch about how unhealthy it is to be a streamer, and I gotta stream 70 hours a week just to fucking stay in the top 15 rows on my category to make X amount of dollars, and it's like Twitch doesn't give a fuck. They don't care.
Well, that's not the exact same dynamic.
It's similar. Like, you know what you're getting yourself into. You can't be a successful streamer working part-time. And a lot of times you can't be successful working 40 hours a week. You got to overwork. I mean, it's getting to the point where people are fucking turning on their streams and playing VODs because they feel like they need to just be on 24/7 to make a paycheck. It's the same thing. If we don't like it, move industries. It's not going to change. It's going to get worse. It's going to get more competitive. It's going to get scrutinized even more. And it's going to weed out the ones that just don't have, it's a lifestyle. Now, a lot of these jobs and these careers, especially in the arts, it's a lifestyle. You got to love the grind. You got to love the fucking hard work and the long hours and the crunch time and all this shit. And you just got to, I shouldn't say you got to love it, but you got to understand that this is part of it. And like, it's just, for me, it just, hearing it so much, it just comes with like a lot of bitching and whining. And it's like, I get it. Trust me, I do. But like, at the same time, what are you doing about it?
Well, I guess, so what, I guess, obviously not the entire industry is like this, because if the entire industry was like this, then there would be a complete and utter lack of people wanting, like the turnover would be high absolutely everywhere, but it's not high everywhere. It's high in specific companies and under specific publishers or under specific developers.
Very big ones, very big ass companies. These aren't small ass companies. I'm sure it happens just as much in small ass companies. You just don't hear about it because it's not newsworthy. Nobody gives a fuck about a super small developer that's going to make some game that's going to go on Steam for $2.99. And these motherfuckers have been working 90-hour weeks, crunching this shit all to hell, getting reamed by their bosses, getting paid fucking like they got picked up on Fiverr. You know what I'm saying? Nobody gives a fuck about them. The only reason why this is even remotely newsworthy is because there's a bunch of backlash already. People are already jumping on the hate train. Here's another something. And people don't even, like, it's just, all it is bait to rile people up and get people angry and do the social media shame and bullshit that we've been going on and on and on about for all this time. That's what this is.
Okay, so two things. One, I believe in this instance, the central point was that they were being diverted away from Overwatch 2 to do Overwatch 1 shit, even though they were being assigned specifically Overwatch 2.
Why does it matter if Overwatch 2 comes out a year, 2, 3, 4, 7 years down the road and their developer? Who gives a fuck? It doesn't matter. They're not getting paid for the game to be fucking released and then make a shit ton of money on the back end. These motherfuckers are building a game, and that's it. It shouldn't matter to them. They're getting paid regardless. Doesn't matter if they stay on Overwatch 1 for 15 years or they do Overwatch 2. Who gives a fuck?
Well, if a lot of your salary or bonus or any kind of end of year pay is centered around the performance of a game release, then it kind of does. Well, tell me how it's not the case, Jack.
Okay, anyway, let's just move forward, man.
No, tell me. I'm
not interested because every single time a goalpost is moved, every fucking time I bring up something and I get combative about something. Every time, bro.
I'm not moving. I'm asking to explain.
Bro,
so if you say
these guys, they don't give a. I'm telling you, they're not complaining because they can't get their Christmas bonus at the end of the year. They're complaining because they're overworked. They don't got enough staff, and any fans or whatever are bitching and complaining about their game not coming out, which the majority of people for Overwatch 2 don't give a fuck about anyway. And I'd fire this girl or whoever they did. I'd fire her on the spot. I'd be like, you're done, man. You're fucking done. You go on social media, you want to run your mouth, you want to say, oh, my employer is so bad, or the people, you're fired. Get out of my company. That's what I do instantaneously. It's crazy. All it is baiting and hate. That's what it is. This is the reason why that game reviews get bombed the fuck and their shit goes downhill, and then Steam's got to change everything up, is because people are upset about their work situations. I understand bad work situations when it comes to sexual harassment and all this other stuff. There's no place for it. But when you're getting overworked and shit is crunch time and shit gets delayed, and these people don't understand how big of how huge of a machine it is to run all of this shit, and they're just poking at Bobby. And what are we supposed to do? We're just gonna take one person's side of everything? We don't know what is being said behind the scenes. We don't know why a game is actually being delayed. We have no idea what is going on. Shit, we just went through COVID, for Christ's sake. So these people think they understand the business, but they're hired to do a job, and they're getting paid to do their job. They're not paid to run a company. They gotta follow in line. This just comes off as whining to me. It just does.
So what are their options? If all the things that you just listed, where they're being overworked, and in some instances where compensation is quit. That's it.
That's it. You don't like your listen, bro. That I know it seems crazy. Isn't that wild that I just said that? Isn't that crazy? Quit. I can't quit. I got a family to feed. I got to do this. Well, find a different employer. Go take your talent elsewhere. If you are really talented, at what you do, there is going to be somebody chomping at the bit to get what you got. If you hate your job, you should be working towards going to the next job. So yeah, may not just be quitting on the spot because you had a bad 6 months at your employer. But if you start to see a consistency on you being miserable for your job for a long period of time, you need to have the know-all, and you need to understand you as a person, and you got to say, okay, I might not be able to physically just quit today because I got shit to pay for, but you better be damn right. On all my free time, whenever I can, I'm going to be searching for that next job. And the moment that job comes up, I'm going to tell Bobby Kotick and whoever else to go fuck themselves privately like a professional would, all right? And then leave their job. You don't. Do
you think she has access to Bobby Kotick?
Whoever it is. That's the way the world works. If you don't like your job situation, leave.
So the solution for the majority of the video game industry is to just don't work in the video game industry.
You just told me it's not the majority, Adam. You told me it's specific.
I did not say that it wasn't the majority, but I did say that the majority of this situation is centered around the fact that they are getting largely blamed, and everyone gets tired of getting blamed for everything. And if there's if there's nothing that ever comes out, and you're doing your job, you're trying to enjoy it, and all of these people that are named publicly for what their positions are, whether they're a producer or a high-ranking developer or a lead design or a lead anything, they are immediately the ones that get basically shit on constantly, or messages sent to them all the time. But I guess by people who are fucking crazy on social media. You and I know just as much.
I don't know a single developer's Twitter handle. None in the history of
You're not
developing
everyone.
games.
You are not if it doesn't, part of your problem is that if it doesn't pass through your social media feed, you believe wholeheartedly that it doesn't exist.
Holy Jesus fucking Christ.
That's why you ask, why is this news?
I don't, okay.
Well, you just said it. Well, you just said you don't see it. Okay. So if you don't see it, it clearly isn't a problem.
All right.
But if but honestly, if for 4 or 5 years now we have seen this be a consistent thing being brought to the forefront after the dam broke, clearly this is a pretty major issue, and something that when the state departments in California are suing companies over it, it has to be a bit of a problem, no? Like there has to be something that has to be done about it. If a state department starts getting involved, does that not make sense that maybe there's a little more than just people bitching about the fact that they're working in a coal mine? And if you're going to work at a coal mine, you should know that black lung is probably part of your job. And if you don't want black lung, don't work there.
Sure, Adam. Yes, you're right.
Okay. All right.